Today I am ranking every seated and chest supported row that I saw at Home Gym Con to help you decide what deserves a spot in your home gym. Let's go. This video is brought to you by GymSmith, my free 3D home gym building app meant for anyone trying to optimize their training space. Map out your actual room, browse thousands of pieces of brand name equipment, place true to scale 3D models in your gym, and walk through your layout to see exactly what it feels like. GymSmith analyzes your setup based on your goals, shows you what's missing, and tells you what equipment piece to add next. All of this is completely free at hypertrofit.com/GymSmith. What's up, guys? Kyle with hypertrofit.com, the best place to design your home gym and develop your training program. Like I said, we are covering rows today, seated and chest supported. They're not all exactly the same type of machine, but I wanted to give you a more comprehensive list of what my favorites were in this category as I went through the different companies at Home Gym Con. If you haven't seen my video on chest presses that I did last week, be sure to check that out because this is going to be a very similar video. The one difference compared to last week is that this one is a lot harder to rank because there are a lot more differences with these machines. So you'll notice as we get to like the top 6 or so of these equipment pieces, a lot of them could go in a number of different ways depending on what you're looking for out of the machine. The same idea still carries through in that you need a machine to fit you. So if some of these fit me really well and don't fit you the same way, you could have a totally different opinion on them. But again, with these back machines specifically, they're not all doing the exact same thing, so it's not a complete one-to-one comparison, but we are staying within the same horizontal plane. So with that being said, most everything that I tried, I really liked. There was really only one machine that I did not like, primarily because I just couldn't get it into a position that felt comfortable to me. I didn't spend a ton of time with it, but it still was not my favorite. And that was the RitFit chest supported row / linear row that isn't out yet. I believe this is some sort of prototype that they're working on. I don't have footage of myself on this or the next couple of items, but number 14 on the list as we're going to go through this is going to be that RitFit piece. Number 13 is the Makolo chest supported linear row. So this I also don't have footage on, but this is a solid piece of equipment. What's really compelling about this is it's incredibly compact and incredibly cheap. It's not the smoothest thing in the world. It doesn't have the best angle in the world, but it does allow for multiple adjustments of height so that you can use this if you were taller or a shorter person. There are multiple handle grips on this that do feel pretty good. And overall, this is a machine that I would be perfectly happy to train with. There's just better stuff out there. Now, in terms of the budget category and the space compact category, this is punching very high above its weight. I think it's a very good option in those cases and something that a lot of people will probably be pretty happy with. Number 12 on the list right in front of that is also Makolo, the linear seated row. This is just like the Gym Musculo linear row that I reviewed a little over a month ago. I would consider those basically the same machine, the only difference being the handles. And if you saw that review, I really liked that machine. Again, in that $340 price point with this one, depending on if it's off or on sale. Again, a really good deal if you're looking for just a standalone piece that is budget oriented and is not going to take up a ton of space. This one is not nearly as compact as the chest supported row, but I do like how this one feels just a little bit better. Again, this is purely preference point at this point. It's not that one is better than the other. Relatively smooth machine overall, just kind of occupying the space that it wants to. It's a budget piece that does what it tries to do pretty well. Number 11 on the list is the Echo Strength chest supported linear row. And the only reason that this is so high on the list and not a higher ranking or a lower ranking, I guess, is because the chest support pad just didn't go up high enough. Overall, the machine itself is really smooth, and I know that they're actually taking this one back to the drawing board to fix the height adjustment because it was just too short of a machine. But the hard part they actually got right. So the linear track that the trolley goes up on this feels really good. I liked all the different handle positions that they had available with this. And so when they actually bring this back to market with the updates that they get from all of the feedback from Home Gym Con, I do think that this will move up higher in the list, especially because of how compact this is. So it's very similar size to that Makolo chest supported linear row, and really the Megamass linear row that popularized this specific type of row, but it's not quite there yet. So once they bring that final refined piece back, I'll be really interested to see where this one actually stacks up. Number 10 on the list is two different machines, both from ATX. I also don't have footage of this one. This is the last one I don't have footage of. I did try this a little bit. These are their lateral row machines and contractor row machines, both very similar. The big difference just being what the handle looks like. These are incredibly similar to the hammer strength isolateral rows that you see in pretty much any commercial gym. They feel really nice if you're looking for that type of leverage row. It's never been my favorite type of machine, but it's very compact, very budget friendly, and certainly something worth looking into if that is something that you enjoy. I know Mike at Hybrid Resistance has one of these machines and he did a video on it, and then Carp also got the other machine, so check out their channels if you want more in-depth looks at what these particular ones were. They feel good, not my favorites, but overall a really solid option for the budget and the floor space that they take up. Number 9 on the list is the Temple of Gains linear row. And this one surprised me with where I put this in the rankings because I expected to like it a little bit more than I did. It's not a bad machine. This is purely a preference point. So the range of motion on this is great. It's a big machine. It's got adjustable handles that you can put at various distances. They fully swivel so that you can angle them at whatever point that you want. They don't lock into position. They're just freely swinging. The reason why it sits in the position that it does is because the handles are independent of one another. So what I noticed as I started rowing with it is that one hand could get a little bit ahead of the other. This is primarily a skill issue or an imbalance issue, but it was done in such a way that I didn't really like the way that it felt versus all of the other linear rows that I tried where the handles are connected. And part of why I don't like it set up as much this way is because you can't connect these and get that same smooth, balanced contraction that you can get on the other machines. Whereas any other machine where the handlebars are fixed together, you can still always just row with one arm at a time. So those aren't stopping you from doing isolateral work. You're not able to do them at the same time like this one, but this one is actually stopping you from it feeling like a more compound movement. And so that is really my only gripe with it. It's a very smooth machine, very well built, just like all of Temple of Gains stuff. And if you are looking specifically for the isolateral movement, then I think you'll really like this thing. It's really going to be one of those things where you have to try it out for yourself, see how it feels, and see what you think about it. But for me, I preferred having the handles actually connected to one another. Number 8 on the list is the Temple of Gains chest supported row. This is a very standard chest supported T-bar row. It has adjustable articulating handles, adjustable height to the foot plate, and overall is a very solid machine. I really don't have anything to complain about with this machine. It felt good. It's very smooth, very well put together. There was just nothing about it that really wowed me in any way that some of these other machines did, and it's not the most versatile. So it's a chest supported T-bar row. If that is the machine that you are looking for, then this does it extremely well. It's not the biggest in the world, but it's definitely not a small machine. So it kind of sits in the middle of some of the other options in the chest supported T-bar row category. Does it extremely well, but again, kind of a middle of the road pick for me with how everything else fell together. Number 7, still at Temple of Gains, is the Explode Row V2. This is a great machine. This is mimicking the old Nautilus version of this machine, and they did it incredibly well. The only reason that this sits in this particular position is because it only does one thing, and it's huge. So this is a very long machine. I don't see a lot of people having the room for this especially given that it only does one particular movement and there's nowhere to adjust anything. So while it's incredibly good at that movement, you can't change the width of the handles, you can't really change the angle of anything. The only adjustment that you have is the chest support pad to give you more stretch, which is great. It does the one movement incredibly well. It feels incredibly good, but this is a very competitive space. And for something this large, it's hard to have it go up much higher given that it only does one movement, but it does that movement very, very well. Number 6 on the list is the Titan Fitness chest supported T-bar row. This thing is massive, and I really do think that Titan is leaning into their name with a lot of the machines that they've been building lately because they're big. That is probably the only downside to this machine, is the size of it. Everything else is so incredibly well done. The chest support pad is huge, it's massive, it's incredibly stable. I felt completely locked in while I was doing this. You have an adjustable height foot pad. You can change the width of the handles, which are also fully articulating and fully knurled in this as well. Dual weight horns out front. The resistance profile is really, really nice on this. I have zero complaints about this. The only bad thing about it is the size. It's even a reasonable price point. I think these days they're selling it around $1,400. I think it's actually even cheaper than the Temple of Gains one. And if you have the room for this thing and you're looking for a chest supported T-bar row, this, in my opinion, is the best that anyone is doing. And now we're getting into the top 5, and this is where things start to get really challenging to order, but I'm still going to give you rationale behind why I have each of these pieces where I do. So at number 5, we have the Prime Fitness seated row. This machine is one of the best horizontal rows that I've ever used because you can adjust the resistance curve with the 3 different weight horns. It has the built-in swivel handles. You can adjust the distance that the chest support pad comes out towards you and really just dial this in to feel incredible. Where it falls short of some of the machines in front of it in this list, in my opinion, is that it is a one-trick pony. There is no width adjustment to the handles. You can kind of adjust the height of the seat to be able to target the lats or target the upper back a little bit more, but I would much rather see them allow some adjustment on the width of the handles to really make this machine shine even more. If you are in a position where you can just have this thing focus on what it does best, kind of like the Temple of Gains Explode row, then that's great. It does an incredible job at what it's meant to do, but because it can only do one thing, it's kind of compact, but again, it's taking up a decent footprint for one movement. That's why this is sitting at number 5. But just like all of the other Prime equipment, it's incredibly premium and it's also incredibly expensive, so keep that in mind too. Number 4 on this list is still at the Prime booth. This is the new chest supported row that they were debuting. This is not out yet. This is a really cool machine. I don't think I had quite enough time with it to really dial in the perfect settings for it, and I have a feeling that this might sit even higher on my list if I had more of that time. So this is the opposite of the seated row that we just talked about, in that there are a ton of adjustment points with this. So you have the height of the chest support pad, you have the angle that it comes out to, and then you can also adjust the width of those handles, which are also swivel handles, I believe. And then you've got the 3 different weight horns on each side to change the loading mechanics like all the other Prime plate loaded machines. And there's just so much to really tinker with that I would want some more time to really develop a true opinion on this. But I can tell you from the little bit of use that I did have with it, I was very impressed. I'm excited to see them come out with this because, again, it's not a huge machine. It also has plate storage built in, so it's got a lot more going for it, I think, and you can get really creative with how you use it. You can use it as a bilateral chest supported row, as you see me demonstrating. You could do one arm at a time. You could change the position that you're at, whether you're using your chest support on the pad itself or even using like your arm to be supported on that pad. A lot of different options with this machine, which I think makes it work a lot better in the home gym setting compared to some of these other machines that we've seen. That, and you get to see all of those nice finishes with Prime that they're known for, but you're also going to get those same lead times and those same prices as the rest of their equipment line. So we're getting into really good stuff here, but that price tag is creeping up exponentially to do so here at number 4. Now, number 3 is the ATX linear chest supported row. I don't know exactly what their true name for this is, but this is one of my favorite machines from the entire show. This is a $1,500 machine, so we're not in the commercial price point anymore, and it's actually versatile for what it does. You have the linear row setup, which I am showing off here in the video right this second. You have 2 articulating handles, which can be adjusted widthwise in or out. And then you have a straight knurled bar over the top, which gives you a lot of versatility with how you set up your hands on this. The foot plate does not adjust, but from my usage with it, I haven't really found a need for any adjustments there. It seems to be in a really good spot. You can adjust the height of the seat on this one. And then what really makes this cool is it has a chest support pad in the back. So that doubles up the effective use of this machine. Now you also have a linear chest supported row that comes with all of those same handle adjustments. So the straight bar across the top, the adjustable width of the swivel handles on the bottom. The swivel handles do not lock in place, so they just fully swivel, and the chest support pad also does not lock in place, so it actually tilts with your body. Now, I actually brought this machine home, and I do plan to do a full review on this. I've been using this one extensively, but I'm giving you more of my impressions even just from being at the show. It's an incredibly smooth piece. You can't really get any smoother than this was. I was extremely impressed because when you look at some of the cheaper stuff like the Makolo linear rows and whatnot, the Echo Strength linear rows, they feel good, they're smooth, but when you step up to the commercial line of equipment, you start to immediately feel the difference of that next level of smoothness. I would put ATX on this particular machine right there. There were other linear rows that we've yet to talk about that were commercial quality, incredibly smooth. This was neck and neck with it. And given that this is a realistic price point for a lot of home gyms, it's not a massive piece of equipment, and it does 2, even 3 movements if we're counting like a linear row RDL. This is a very viable option and something that I highly recommend for most people. If we were going to cut it at what I think is actually the most realistic, best row piece for a home gym, then this is number 1 on that list because of the price point. $1,500, free shipping from ATX. Nothing else is going to come close for bang for your buck in this list. So if that's all you're interested in, this is the top of the list for you. I absolutely love this machine. I have it here. Expect a further review to come because I am really putting it through its paces here, but it is an incredible piece. So we will leave it at that at number 3. Number 2 on this list is from WM Fabrication. I don't actually know what he called this seated row, but this is one of the most genuinely unique machines that I've ever used in my entire life. Forget just home gym con. I've never used a seated row anything like this. It's a diverging, outwardly rotating arm position. The handles can be set up to work unilaterally or bilaterally by adjusting a pin in the middle. And it's just an incredibly unique machine. A bunch of different handle grips. You can set up the height and the chest support pad to be at whatever position that you need so that you can focus on your upper back, your mid back, your lats. This is such a cool machine, and this is coming from a single guy building these custom pieces. You can order them. They are at the commercial level tier of price. I think this is in the $4,000 range, so it's not cheap, but it's not a huge machine. It's actually fairly compact, and this is something that I would be thrilled to own because you're getting so much value out of this particular footprint. The movement I've never felt before, like it truly is unique in the way that these handles diverge. and it's just an incredible piece of equipment. I really don't know what else to say. There's nothing else that I can even really compare this to. This could easily be number one. Number one, number two are pretty much a toss-up. This was definitely one of the most shocking pieces to me because, again, this is just a single guy fabricating this in his shop. He's got a handful of other pieces that he does, and it's just so well done. The biomechanics of this are so incredibly well done, and who knows, maybe one day I will have one of his pieces because they are really something to behold and truly unique to where he doesn't have a direct competitor as far as I'm concerned. Like, obviously there's other pieces that you could buy instead of this, but it's not like 5 other companies that had their version of a linear row. This is just this thing, and you have to get it from him as far as I know. So very, very highly recommend the WM Fabrication seated row if you ever get the chance to try it out. And number one on this list, my favorite chest supported or seated row of home gym con and pretty much in general is the Primal linear and chest supported row 2-in-1 machine. This is everything that the ATX 2-in-1 machine is, just perfected. The ATX didn't really have any issues, but where this steps in is just finding every last little detail that you could possibly want and including it. The main differences being that it has an articulating set of handles that can freely spin 360, that can adjust widthwise, but they can also lock in at every single angle. So while it doesn't have its own separate straight bar, you can lock it in at whatever width that you would want at a straight bar or at an angle or at a supinated position. It gives you just that extra tiny little bit of versatility that the ATX piece did not have. On top of that, you can adjust the angle of the foot plate, and the chest support pad locks in place with a ton of different settings, which to me gave it just a little bit more stability and solid feeling that the ATX version does not have. Now, granted, this Primal piece is another commercial gym piece. I don't know the exact price, but again, $4,000 to $5,000 range. And in terms of that, it's really not competing with the ATX. It does also do plate storage, which the ATX linear row does not do. But yeah, this, in terms of just like what you could possibly want out of this style of linear row, chest supported row, it's pretty much a perfect machine. The only critique that you could have of this is the price, but it's so well done that I can't even really critique the price. It's just a commercial machine. And honestly, what's even more impressive is that it is not a huge footprint. I actually think it's smaller than the ATX machine, and it's doing all of this so incredibly well. It is the smoothest machine that you've ever felt, but I will say that using this machine back to back with the ATX linear row actually felt the same level of smoothness to me, so that's more kudos to ATX than anything. But again, this is just, in my opinion, the linear row and chest supported row combo unit perfected. It does multiple things. It has multiple adjustment points, multiple widths. You can hit your back from pretty much any direction, angle that you want in terms of a horizontal row. Free spinning handles, locked in handles, adjustable foot plate, linear RDLs if you want to do something like that. There are no points of this machine that I can really offer critique to or a way to improve. And because you couple that with the footprint, the amount of adjustment, and just how well it does what it's sought out to do, that is why I put this at number one. And I think it is truly the best machine that you could put into your home gym for a horizontal row, given all of those things. So if you had a chance to check out any of these machines yourself, I would love to know how you rank them, or if you would place some of these a little bit differently. I do know that not all of these types of machines are for everybody. So you might hate linear rows and look at this and be like, yeah, I have no interest in this whatsoever, but a chest supported T-bar row would be perfect. And that is exactly why it's important to actually try some of these things out. I hope that this was a useful list for you. I do have more equipment categories coming in the future for you to be able to kind of see where I think different things stack up, but please sound off in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on these pieces or any others that we didn't cover here. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will catch you again in the next one.